How's it going? So we're gonna be making this form here. So you see we have input elements. We click on submit. It's going to say, well, validation errors, right? So then you have to fill it in correctly. You have to fill it in correctly because this is email field, right? So you see, telephone, and then has to be selected, right? Now here you can see that, I mean, it's watching the inputs every time the form changes. It's going to console log it, right? And then when you submit, it's going to produce the form, right? So you see this is submitted data with all your inputs. And it also going to fetch data from an API. Now, the reason why I did fetch data from API, I just wanted to make sure that this framework can actually do asynchronous functions. Because, I mean, you know, if the framework is good, but it cannot do certain things, then you're kind of in trouble, you know. So, all right. So that's the one I'm going to be using. It's called React Hook Form. It's going to be in the description below. And also, as usual, I'm going to put this in the description below. So this is all the docs, and this is all the code. So you'll be able to see. Okay, docs. So let's get started then. Let's get the party started, as they say. Wait, but how do I pause recording? Yeah, I recently changed my... Oh god, that means I have to manually delete everything. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna have to manually delete everything. Now we're doing it in TypeScript as well, so just be aware of this, right? Okay, so let's do some form. So that's gonna be like a start, right? So that's gonna be our start. I'm gonna remove this. So what do we do? The first thing we do is we go to pretty much this page here, get started, right? And we're gonna npm install this thing. I already done that, so I don't need to do it, but I mean, go ahead and do it, right? And then we're just gonna do this, pretty much copy and paste almost everything from here. Yeah, just copy and paste everything from here. So I'm gonna move it here, and I'm gonna copy and paste it, right? So we need this, we need the inputs. So inputs are going to be name, which is string, whoops, right? Then we're gonna have email string, telephone number, and then we're gonna have what are we gonna have? Probably a boolean, right? Programmer, which is boolean, right? Yeah. So these are our inputs, right? Okay. So next thing we need, copy and paste this stuff. So this is line with register in it. Okay, so we're gonna change this a little bit. So that's gonna be our submitted data from form, like this. So when we click on submit, if validation passes, it will produce this. Okay, and then we need watch, then console log. This is watch. Let's do watch. Like this. And then we're gonna watch the whole form. Okay. Now also be aware that it renders. So it's going to, like, watch acts kind of like use effect, right? So if you have a dependency, it will re-render the component when you have the dependency inside of it. So inside the watch, you need to put like some kind of input, but I'll show you later, right? Now, if there's no dependency, then it's going to re-render every single time. And the way you can check that is just create use effect hook, and then, you know, just do it this way. Remove the dependency thing and just console log re-rendered. Right, so this way you can track to see when the component is being re-rendered. Alright, so now we need to actually create the form. Again, we're just gonna copy and paste it from here with the return statement. Yeah, we're just gonna do that. Okay. So, whoopsie, whoopsie. Now I like to add a bit of padding, so otherwise it just, you know, glued to this, like, well, not padding, but margins. Let's just do 60 pixels, right? Otherwise it's just gonna stick. It glues to the page too much, right? So far you should be getting like shitloads of errors because a lot of stuff we have here doesn't exist, right? So we don't need to remove. We don't need this here. We don't actually need this stuff here. Let's just remove all the comments. Okay. So the first one is going to be. What is it going to be? It's going to be div, and we're gonna call it name, right? Then we're gonna put, and then we're gonna put like this, so we're gonna separate it a little bit. And this is going to be name. So these inputs come from here. Okay, so you just name it like name. Well, they don't actually come from here. They are kind of like, you define them or whatever in here, but that's where they are. Okay. So this is required. Alright, so now we need to create an error message. So far, at this stage, you should not have any issues, right? So you see, we didn't get data yet. We're only getting watch. So you see when you retyping, it re-renders and watch has name in it. Example required. What? Where is that coming from? Wait, what the hell is that? It's not supposed to have anything in it. Oh, it's because I forgot to save. That's the problem, right? No, it's still here. Yeah, so in that case, just reload. Yeah. Otherwise, it kept showing the name example or whatever. Just reload and then it's gonna be okay. So now you see we're typing, and then we're getting the inputs. All right, cool. So now let's say we submit, and we need the error. So where will the error go? Now you need to have this thing here, form state error. Otherwise it's not going to work, right? So we need errors. If errors are true, right, then we need dot, and then the name of the field, which is name. And then we need dot type, I think. And then whatever this field is. You know, if it's pattern, it's pattern. If it's like mean, it's going to be mean. Whatever this thing is, right? So if name type is required, then we want to display a div saying that I like to put these things in here just in case. This is required, right? So now let's test. You see, if we type, if we try to submit without it, this thing should pop up. You see, this field is required. Let's make it red, so you know it sticks out a little bit. Alright, so style, whatever, color, red. I'm not gonna make it bold, but whatever, you know. Okay. Alright, so this is name done. Okay, so now, well, let's make another one, and then I show you how watch works. But you probably figured out by now. I hope you did. So this is gonna be an email. So we're gonna call this email. Change this to email. Okay, this field is required. So this one will have two errors. This one will have two errors, right? So we need required, and then we also need to go to docs, right? And we need to go to, where was it? Register field, I think, right? Yeah. You see, it gives you all of them. We're looking for pattern. Now you can probably experiment with validate, but I mean, I found pattern to. I didn't really think about validate. I just checked pattern. It does what I wanted to do, so I'll stick to it, right? But I mean, feel free to experiment with validate. So we go here, right, and then scroll down, and then this will tell you how to use pattern. You see? So pattern is basically a regex, right? So it works like this. If regex matches, remember like a regex test, if it matches, it produces no errors, so it's true. If it does not match, it will produce an error, right? So we're gonna use pattern, and then we're gonna add @ symbol. Now it already has a global sign, you know, like this way. It already has it inside of it, so you don't need to think about it. But anyway, if you want to put it, just put it anyway. Well, the global flag is already there, but whatever. I mean, it works off regex, so whatever. It should work anyway. So now we need to create a second error. So if type equals this thing here, which is pattern, then we want to say, please enter email with @ like this. So now let's test. So we type, you see? Now it validates, okay? Alright, I'll show you how watch works. You see, every time we type something, it re-renders and it shows you what's being entered into the form, right? So, but if you just put a dependency into watch, so let's say we want to watch only email field, right? So we copy the email field and put it as a dependency. Now it will only re-render when email field is changed. Look, you see? We're typing a name, nothing happens. Now we start typing an email, it re-renders. Okay? And it shows you what's being typed in a dependency. So you see it's going to complain. Yeah, we'll probably need to fix this. Because if you just put an @ symbol, then it's going to... Okay, let me fix this real quick. So this should be a wildcard, I think, right? Wildcard is like this. And then like this. Let's see. Whoops. Yeah, you see it doesn't... Okay, now it's fixed. Because you see, otherwise, you can just put at and it goes through. We can just put a sample in here probably. Example ABC at ABC. So we want dot and then dot. Yeah, I think that's the best way to match. So at dot. Okay. I just wanted to match, so it has to have a dot in it, right? So it has to have at and dot in it, right? And dot has to come after. Oh my god, I need to do regex. I can't pause the video, so we're gonna have to stick to what we have right now. Because regex is not my. I'm not super strong at regex. So we're just gonna stick to this basically. Well, let's try. I think this should match dot as well, right? So blah 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 at blah 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 dot. No, it's not matching. Yeah, it will take me some time to figure out how to actually do it, so let's just stick to this for now. Well, actually, honestly, I think the way to do that would be like this. AZ 1. And then I think it's number, like this, right? Infinite number dot I want to match actual dot and then dot like this. I think this is my last attempt. I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'm a little bit persistent, I'm sorry. So blah 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 at blah 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 dot blah blah blah. There you go, matches. Okay, perfect. So that's the regex for, you know, like ABC at whatever 1 2 3 dot and then whatever. Whoops. Dot. Yeah, okay. So in here it doesn't want to match the numbers. Okay, so man, I think the W is just the symbol, right? I think it's like this, as far as I remember. So this should include. So let's say blah 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 at blah 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 1 2 3 dot blah blah blah. Perfect, matches. Okay, yeah. So W is the. Oh my god, I still remember how to do regex. Free code camp for the win, boys and girls, right? Actually, I'm gonna put this into my docs. Because this is the shizzle, I have to say. This is the shizzle. Okay, so email. Yeah, I'm gonna change this whole thing like this. Cool. Okay, so now I showed you how to do watch with email. Now we're gonna console log out of watch because I don't want the whole thing to be rendering bazillion times. Alright, so next we need to do is the telephone field. Right, so the cool thing is that these here act like normal input fields. So you can do like type and say number. Let's see. And this will be telephone. Telephone, telephone, telephone. So this is telephone. Okay, so now we're gonna remove pattern. We don't need the pattern. We need, I think it's called minimum length. Yeah, it's called minimum length. And it's a boolean, right? So we want it to be at least, let's say, let's do 5 numbers. Like I know phone numbers are normally, they are 8 numbers, but I mean let's just do 5. Okay, so this field is required. So now we copy and paste. We remove pattern and we're gonna have a new error type, which is pattern, and we're gonna say telephone must be 5 numbers minimum. Like this, okay. So let's check. Let's submit. Okay, something is wrong. Maybe if we refresh 1 sec. Okay. No. Okay, the error is not being triggered. I think the error is somewhere here. Hold on a sec. Oh, it's because the email. Yeah, we need to change this to telephone. My apologies. Okay, so now this should work. Now let's do ABC at blah 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 blah. And now telephone should be, yeah. Okay, cool. Now it's working. Alright, so finally, so there's no real rendering, that's fine. So now we need to do, what do we need to, finally, we need this thing here. So our final field is going to be, actually I'm going to copy paste from my docs, because I have select already done in here. So just go into the document that I gave you, the Google Docs, right? So are you a programmer? And this will be pattern, yes, no. Right, and this will be, yeah, we need to change this to, well, I suppose, yeah, we need to change this to string. Honestly, it should be a string. Yeah, because this is a string, yeah. Yeah. And that's it, it's pretty much done. That's your whole thing. So now we click. So this is submitted. So now as opposed to watch being triggered, we are triggering this function here. Where is it? On submit. So this function here has now triggered. And finally, I wanted to show you that you can do import Axios from Axios, and we're gonna fetch from a fake API. We're gonna just use this one here. It's just standard one. I'll put it in the description below so you can use it, right? So we're gonna do let response equals await Axios get the API, and then we're gonna console log response data, right? We need data. Response data, and then that's it. It's done. Whoops. Oh yeah. So it's complaining because it's not an asynchronous function. I forgot to make it async. So to make it async, just do this. And then that's it. Okay, so now we submit, and it fetches the data as well. There you go. Okay, all done. Take care.